Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Deb's back.
Yay, it's so good to see everybody.
Even though you're cold.
I'm freezing.
Because you were in Hawaii.
I was in Hawaii. The weather was beautiful.
Of course it was.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Well, we missed you.
Well, thanks. I missed being here.
Welcome home.
Thank you very much.
I'm sending you a hug from across the bima.
Thank you.
And everyone out there is hugging you too.
Oh, well, I'm sending my hugs out there too. This is, it's sad that we can't be together, but it's nice that we can all still be together.
And we will be back together in a few weeks. We're going to come back into the sanctuary in a few weeks.
Yes,
so.
That's right. Looking forward to it.
We did have some musical treats while you were gone.
I heard. Wow.
No.
Some
And what
wonderful
I
stuff.
look forward to is when we can all be together and all of you can sing together.
Well, we do have some sort of thinking and strategizing in the works for that. So
Wonderful.
yeah,
That's going to be quite something.
it's going to be so much fun.
Yes. Yes. So we need to get into the Shabbat spirit.
Oh, yes.
Let's do that with some deep breathing.
Okay.
Let's take a deep breath in. And release. For me, I need to release my shoulders. Maybe you do too. Our next deep breath in. Release your week. With this last breath, take a deep breath in, and then as you release, you'll have breathed in the beauty, the sweetness that is Shabbat. Feel Shabbat beginning to descend. And we're going to continue welcoming Shabbat with welcoming the Shabbat bride by singing Boi Kala.
Boi Kala, Boi Kala, Boi Kala, Boi Kala. Boi Kala, Boi Kala, Boi Kala, Boi Kala. Lecha dodi, likrat Kala, Penei Shabbat, Nekabela. Boi Kala, Boi Kala, Boi Kala, Boi Kala. Boi Kala, Boi Kala, Boi Kala, Boi Kala. Lecha dodi, likrat Kala, Penei Shabbat, Nekabela. Boi Kala, Boi Kala, Boi Kala, Boi Kala.
That was one of my favorite songs to sing at camp when we would welcome the Sabbath bride. We continue to welcome Shabbat by kindling the Shabbat lights and singing, and also having kiddush. I hope that you at home will get your Shabbat candles and get some wine or grape juice that you can offer the blessings with us. O source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness, help us to find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words we shall speak into our hearts and our lives. Bless all who enter this sanctuary, these holy spaces, who bring their offerings of their hearts. May our worship lead us to acts of kindness, peace, and love.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu להדליק נר של Shabbat.
We continue with Kiddush. The heaven and the earth were finished in all their array. On the seventh day, God finished the work that God had been doing, and God stopped on the seventh day from all the work that God had done. And God blessed the seventh day and declared it holy, because on that day God ceased from all the work of creation that God had done.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit. Ki hu yom techila lemikra'e kodesh, zecher letziat Mitzrayim. Ki vanu v'acharta v'otanu kidashta mikol hamim. V'shabbat kodshecha ve'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. Amen. L'chaim.
Our opening reading, our opening poem this Shabbat is by contemporary psalmist and poet Alden Salavi. I've brought many a reading from him to us before. Shabbat is the place. Shabbat is the place where time and space meet without questioning how the beginning began or how the ending ends. Shabbat is the place where song and silence meet, blessing each other with the gift of rest. Shabbat is the place where dreams and angels meet, yearning together for a world of peace. Shabbat is the place where holiness and eternity meet, praying together for the world to come. The Baruch Hu is our call to worship. It says, we've warmed up a little bit and now we're really ready to pray. We rise in body or in spirit.
Baruch hu et Adonai hamevorach. Baruch Adonai hamvorach leolam vaed.
We continue with Mari Varavim. Please read with me. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim. Continue with the Shema, the watchword of our faith.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed.
Please be seated.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele Asher anochi metzavcha hayom al levavecha Veshinantam levanecha vedibarta bam Beshivtecha bevetecha uvlechtecha vaderech uvshochbecha uvkumecha Ukshartam leot al yadecha vehayuletotafot beinenecha Uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha Leman tizkeru ve'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'tem kedoshim lelohechem Ani Adonai Elohechem Asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim lihiot lachem le'Elohim Ani Adonai Elohechem.
We turn now to Micha Mocha. This Shabbat, my message and Deb's anthem will center on the Micha Mocha. Why? Because this is what we are reading in the Torah. The Micha Mocha comes from Exodus 15, otherwise known as the Song of the Sea, Shirat Hayam. And when we think of the Micha Mocha, there are so many important messages. By the way, the Torah portion that it comes from is called Bishalach. So the first thing before we sing, we're going to sing Micha Mocha in its regular place, is what I think of when I think of Micha Mocha is something really interesting, which is no matter what's going on in our week, no matter what's happening in our prayers, when we sing the Micha Mocha, we're commanded to have a moment of joy. We're commanded to have a moment of celebration. And I think that's really powerful and beautiful. And so it was a really gray and kind of yucky week. And yet here we are, commanded to, with the Israelites, have a little bit of a party.
Right, and nobody can see if you're dancing at home.
So let's enjoy the Micha Mocha.
Definitely. You can dance here too, right? Micha Mocha ba'elim Adonai, Micha Mocha nedar ba'kodesh. Micha Mocha ba'elim Adonai, Micha Mocha nedar ba'kodesh. Nora tehilot osef ele, Nora tehilot osef ele, Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed. Malchutecha ra'u v'necha, bokei hayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam. Ze Elianu ve'amru, Ze Elianu ve'ameru, Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai.
So if you see on your screen, hopefully in a moment I'm going to engage a little bit with our incredible tech support, Jacob Rogers. On the screen, you'll see a slide that looks like the Torah. It looks like if we were able to be in person and I could invite you all up to the Bima, this is what the Song of the Sea looks like, except it's not highlighted. Your slide is highlighted, and it is... we would never do that in the real Torah. And why is it highlighted? That's the Micha Mocha. Micha Mocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nadar b'kodesh, nora tehila oseh feleh. How wonderful. Who can we compare to God? And why does it look like this? We don't know. We have a lot of theories. One beautiful theory is that it looks a little bit, if you can imagine it, like brick walls on top of one another. The walls, the way the water would look as the Israelites walked through to freedom. And so these brick walls looked like the way the Israelites may have experienced the water on either side. The Michamocha tells our story in which our ancestors were delivered from the great horror of slavery, a reminder that redemption is possible in the first place. If the Israelites were redeemed, we too can be redeemed. Let's take a look at the next slide. Why is the Micha Mocha included in the first place? Why do we have this week after week after week in our service? So I have two answers for you. This first one is from Larry Hoffman in a book called My People's Prayer Book. And he writes that it's because our ancient rabbis who put together the initial prayer book, it's been amended obviously many, many times. They're looking for an idea that God would act for us when we most needed it, who enters into history and helps us out, just as God did for the Israelites when they needed it for slavery. And we can imagine that God would be present for us in different ways as well. And so one is a God that would support us. And on the next slide, it's really a beautiful concept. It's the idea of what memory can be for each of us. This is from Rabbi Rachel Rembrandt, who actually grew up in San Antonio, Texas. Her parents were members of the congregation where I served, so she is a pretty super incredible rabbi. To remember the miracle of redemption, what does memory do for us? When we remember, it becomes part of us. That's why Passover is so extraordinary. To experience it again, to dance, to understand it over and over again. So we remember and we remember. And one last piece. We know why it's included, but it also has an impact on each of us. There's a difference between redemption and freedom. Redemption is that moment when we cross the Red Sea and we know that we're not slaves, but there's still a journey to go. It's a transition, as Leo Fuchs writes in this next slide. But what do we do with that freedom, with our liberation? The Israelites had to work pretty hard to understand it. They had 40 more years to go. Redemption offers us only the first step toward freedom. We have to choose to continue forward on our path towards ourselves. We have to exercise what agency will go forward. What will we make of the precious gift of our lives and freedom to make choices? Every week when we sing the Micha Mocha, we have an opportunity to think about this question, about how our personal prayers for ourselves and our families can give us an opportunity to use our agency for freedom, for liberation, for redemption.
Do 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 do. Delivered on shore, still with sand in our shoes. Homeward bound, survivors in spirit with nothing to lose. We have found a land, a life, children of freedom sing that freedom must always ring. Children of freedom rise, repairing the world through freedom's eyes, living the hope of American dreams. We rejoice, we honor the struggle of our history. Hear our voice, our prayer, our song. Children of freedom sing that freedom must always ring. Children of freedom rise, repairing the world through freedom's eyes. We look back on Sinai to the roots of our tree. We look back on Philly, and the branches we see are fruited with olives, but yield apple pie. A harvest of peace set on tables of pride. Children of freedom sing, our freedom must always ring. Children of freedom rise, repairing the world through freedom's eyes. Children of freedom sing that freedom must always ring. Children of freedom rise, repairing the world through freedom's eyes. Do 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 do.
Thank you. I don't know if there's a segue from that into Hashkivenu, so I think we're going to turn to Hashkivenu, which is a call for protection. Just as we look to Michamocha for freedom and redemption, we also know that there are times when we simply need some protection as well. So we turn to Hashkivenu and we ask for a Sukkat Shalom.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom, leshalom, lehamidenu shomreinu lechayim, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Shelter us beneath thy wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us, God, wrong from right. Amen. Amen. Amen.
sing Vishamru as a reminder of this gift of time, how lucky and blessed we are to have these hours of renewal and time and renewal and rest.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל עוד היא לעולם, עוד היא לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת באי נפש, שבת באי נפש, שבת באי נפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
I love that last.
Did you miss it while I was gone?
I did. Of course I did. We turn to the Amidah or the Tefillah first by refocusing, resetting our intention with our first little song, and then chanting straight through all of our three prayers. We rise in body or in spirit.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah. Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, V'Koneh HaKol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot V'Imahot, U'Mevi Geula Livnei V'Neihem, Le'ma'an Shemo Be'ahava. Melech Hozer Hu Moshia Hu Magen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechaye HaKol Atah, Rav leHoshia. Mechalkel Chayim bechesed, Mechaye HaKol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim verofeh cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato, Lishenei afar, Micha mocha ba'gevurot, Umido melach, melech meimit umechaye, umatmiach Yeshua, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Please be seated. As we take a moment to sing Shalom Rav, we also take time to think about what we're grateful for this week. There's a lot that's hard that's going on, especially right now, but there's also a lot that's good. And sometimes we have to take a moment to pause and think about that. And so if you're so moved, I hope you'll use the chat, whether you're on our website or on YouTube or on Facebook, and just share that which you're grateful for on this Shabbat while we're singing Shalom Rav together.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki ata hu melech Adam lechol hashalom. Lechol ha-shalom, shalom rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Shalom rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. V'tov be'einecha levarech et amcha Yisrael bechol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Shalom rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Tasim leolam. Tasim leolam.
Even as we know there are many things to be grateful for, many blessings in our lives, we also know there are many who are struggling, whether it is physical illness, whether it is spiritual struggle or mental illness. There is a lot for which we are struggling, with which we are struggling. And so we turn to our prayer for healing, our Misha Berach. And if you'd like to put a name of a loved one in the chat, I invite you to do so at this time. And we'll sing together our prayer for healing.
Misha Berach Avotenu Avraham, Yitzchak, veYaakov. Misha Berach Imotenu, Sarah, Rivka, Leah, veRachel. May the one who blessed our mothers, may the one who blessed our fathers, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well. Bless us with the power of your healing. us with the power of your hope. May our hearts be filled with understanding and strengthened by the power of your love. Misheberach Avoteinu, Avraham, Yitzchak, veYaakov. Misheberach Imotenu, Sarah, Rivka, Leah, veRachel. May the one who blessed our mothers, may the one who blessed our fathers, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well. Bless us with a vision for tomorrow. Bless us with the vision of your love. May the warmth of friendship ease our sorrow. Give us courage, give us faith, show us the way. Misheberach Avoteinu, Misheberach Imotenu. Hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well. Hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well.
We take a few moments for silent prayer and reflection.
Adonai Tzuri Begali, Adonai Tzuri Begali. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, O God, my rock and my redeemer. Yiyu leratzon imrefi Begyon libi lefanecha. Adonai
We continue now with Aleinu. Please rise in body or in spirit. Let us adore the ever-living God and render praise unto you, who spreads out the heavens and established the earth, whose glory is revealed in the heavens above, and whose greatness is manifest throughout the world. You are God, there is none else.
ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
Please be seated. We continue now with our time of remembering. When I die, give what's left of me away to children and old men that wait to die. And if you need to cry, cry for your brother walking the street beside you. And when you need me, put your arms around anyone and give them what you need to give me. I want to leave you something better than words or sounds. Look for me in the people I've known or loved. And if you cannot give me away, at least let me live in your eyes and not in your mind. You can love me best by letting hands touch hands and by letting go of children that need to be free. Love doesn't die, people do. So when all that's left of me is love, give me away. On this Shabbat, we remember those taken most recently from our Temple family in Shloshim in the first month since their death: Carly Rachel Siegel, Janet Bergman, Joan Schechter, Kenneth Rocky Yuko. And we mourn and we remember those yahrzeits that fall on this Shabbat: Linda Crawford, Marvin Dinner, William Feldman, Mrs. Milton Fisher, Jerome Frankel, Bert Friedman, Nettie H. First, Molly Globinger, Jane Gluck, Marie R. Goldrich, Edith J. Goldsmith, Ben C. Green, Larry Greenwald, Thomas F. Handel, Janet C. Hansen, Alan K. Hexter, Gladys Ruth Kaufman, Solomon Harris Levy, Kenneth Light, Marilyn Loomis Haas, Alan S. Massey, Margaret F. Messinger, Linda November, George A. Podis, Ruth Rand, Douglas Harry Rose, Esther Traxler Rosen, Ralph S. Rosewater, Marjorie Black Soltz, David L. Stashauer, Fred P. Stashauer, Florence M. Weil, Joseph L. Weinberg, Janet Buring Wiener, Solomon Weiss, Elaine K. Wiesenberg, Jacob Wolpow. Our griefs and sympathies are mingled as we turn to the mourner's Kaddish and rise in body or in spirit. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, v'alma divra chirute v'amlich malchute, b'chayechon uvyomechon, uvchaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kari v'imru amen. Yehe shmei rabbah mevorach leolam almei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yithaleh v'yithalal shemei dekudasha barechu, le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechamata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and give comfort to all who are bereaved. And let us say together, Amen. A few announcements. Third trimester is starting.
For real.
For real,
Yes.
January 23rd. We have some classes that are closed and some classes that have room. Please go to our website and take a look. The classes are awesome. Please join us. Both you can come in person or online. Our offices are closed Monday in observance of Martin Luther King Jr. Please go do something good in the world. And we have a new vaccination policy. There's a form online, or you received it in Temple Times. You must be vaccinated and up to date, have your boosters to participate in in-person programming, which will resume on January 23rd. There was on Temple Times, and there'll be another email coming to the congregation. Mm-hmm. We want to be safe and have a sacred community.
Absolutely.
And now we're going to sing our closing song.
Yes, we are going to sing Adon Olam because I think this one will get us going again, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So, let's all keep up. Adon Olam Asher Malach B'terem Kol Yetzir Nivra La'et Nasa B'chepto Kol Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Ve'acharei kichlot hakol levado yimloch nora ve'hu hayat ve'hu hoveh ve'hu yeh betifara. Adon Olam Asher Malach B'terem Kol Yetzir Nivra Le'et Nasa B'chepto Kol Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Acharei kichlot hakol levado yimloch nora Hu haya ve'hu hoveh ve'hu yiyeh betifara Adon Olam Asher Malach B'terem Kol Yetzir Nivra Le'et Nasa B'chepto Kol Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Acharei kichlot hakol levado yimloch nora Hu haya ve'hu hoveh betifara Hu haya ve'hu hoveh betifara Ve'hu haya ve'hu hoveh betifara. Woke me up.
Yes.
Yevarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha.
May God bless you and keep you.
Yaher Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka.
May the light of God's presence shine upon you and be gracious to you.
Is Adonai panav elecha ve'yasem lecha shalom ve'yasem lecha shalom.
May God lift up each one of us, and may God bring us shalom, peace, and wholeness.
Yes,
Let's have some
do a
challah.
motzi. Sounds good. I hope you're all
I hope
having
you're getting your
challah
challah at home.
Yes, absolutely. Here we go. Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together as our prayer is humbly said. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
B'te'avon.
And Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. This B'te'avon means bon appetit. Shabbat Shalom,
Shabbat
everyone.
Shalom.